Fellow football lovers, this is not the first time I raise this issue, and unfortunately, it may not be the last. But it needs to be said loudly and clearly. The new breed of South African football supporters is becoming the most negative generation our game has ever seen. Instead of building the game, many are obsessed with destroying it. Instead of analyzing matches and discussing players' performances objectively, they attack referees, insult players, and flood social media with personal abuse. Instead of celebrating their love for their own teams, they invest more energy in expressing hatred for rival teams. That's not passion, that's toxicity. Football has always been about pride, rivalry, and emotion. But somewhere along the way, we lost something very important: respect. Today, supporters spend endless hours comparing players, trying to prove that one must be superior while the other must be useless. Look at the Messi and Ronaldo debate, two of the greatest players in the history of football. Yet people are still arguing about it more than 20 years later, as if greatness cannot exist in more than one person. But our parents and grandparents never behaved like this. They watched legends like Jomo Sono, Ace Ntswelingwe, Ace Mnini, and Teenage Dada play in the same era. And not once did we hear them tearing one down to lift another. They understood something we seem to have forgotten: that greatness comes in different forms. Ntswelingwe was not known for flashy dribbling, but he had vision and intelligence that allowed him to control an entire match like an army general. Mnini dazzled crowds with skillful dribbling and precise passing that opened spaces for his teammates. Sono was tactically brilliant and could score goals from almost anywhere on the pitch. Dladla possessed breathtaking speed, creativity, and natural instinct, the kind of player teammates simply trusted to take them on. These players had different strengths, different styles, but were all exceptional. That's what true football appreciation looks like. What I find deeply offensive today is watching grown men, men old enough to be grandfathers, using public platforms to destroy young players who are younger than their own grandchildren. These players are human beings. They read social media, they see insults, they hear ridicule. And let me ask you something. Do we ever think about how that affects them? How it affects their parents, their children, their families? Words matter. There is nothing wrong with loving your team fiercely, and there is nothing wrong with disliking your rivals. Rivalry is part of football culture, but there is a difference between banter and abuse. It's completely unnecessary to compare a young player at the peak of his career with a retired legend. It doesn't elevate the legend, and it certainly doesn't help the young player. And to the so called legends who publicly belittle young players, remember this. These boys grew up watching you, they admired you, they wanted to be like you. There is nothing more painful than hearing your own hero tear you down. If you truly care about South African football, your responsibility is to guide, mentor, and inspire the next generation, not discourage them. And if you don't have anything to say positive about these players, then shut the fuck up. To supporters, commentators, and former players alike, support the game, build the players, protect the future of South African football. And if you cannot say something constructive, respectful, or helpful, then perhaps the best thing you can do for the game you claim to love is to simply keep quiet.